Good morning and welcome to Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. And today's a fun devotion. It's titled The Desire of People for False Prophecy. Think about that. The desire of people for false prophecy. Today we'll be reading out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verses 9 and 10. And they read, "That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, See not, and to the prophets, Prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits." How many times has anyone left a morning preaching feeling at least mildly put out, if not angry? If so, then great. That is what preaching ought to do. It ought to prick our hearts and make us think. On the other hand, what kind of preaching do we really want to hear? Do we want that word that pricks our hearts and tells us who we really are? Or do we want to hear how to have better jobs, better spouses, or financial success? It is a sad truth that in our hearts, we really want the second option. We see in our devotional story that the children of Israel wanted the same thing. They knew what they had done. They knew what was coming, yet they still wanted preachers to tickle their ears and make them feel good. Why is that? It's because our natures drive us. We are sinners by nature and by choice. In our natural hearts, we want to be validated in this sin, or at the very least, not hear this sin pointed out. Do we have the ability to want differently? The short answer is that no, we absolutely do not. At least we do not in our natural states. The long answer is that the redeemed have been gifted with this ability through the power of the Holy Spirit who lives in us permanently. So while we have the ability, the question remains, do we want it? And our final thought is, do we want our ears tickled or our hearts pricked? A while back I saw a cartoon, and it was quite comical yet sad at the same time. It showed two churches on either side of the street, and the line to get in the first church had like 3 people going up the steps into the sanctuary. The church on the other side of the street had a line that wrapped around the building. Very reminiscent of Costco in these days. But the church that only had 3 people going in, out front there was a marquee. And it said, "Here at our church, we preach the truth." And over at the church where hundreds of people were lining up around the building to get in, the marquee sign said, "We preach what you want to hear." So you tell me, who's got the larger congregation? Where do people naturally want to go? What does their nature lead toward? Most people would admit that it's always more desirable to take the easy route. It's always physically desirable to take the easy road, so to speak. But in our hearts, we know that oftentimes the harder road, the one that's harder to travel, will produce the better results. I've used this analogy so many times, and I think it's perfect. When somebody joins the military, if given the option to go to boot camp or just go straight to their base or the fort or wherever they're working, would they prefer to go straight to their job, or would they want to go to boot camp first? Well, our bodies desire less pain, less headaches, less turmoil, so we tend to go toward the easy route. I'd rather skip boot camp and go straight to the field. But a wise person would know that you need the training at boot camp. You need the discipline at boot camp. You need the foundations built that boot camp offers. So even though you may want to go straight to the field, if you do, you'll be ill-equipped. You'll be unprepared. Although it's harder to go to boot camp first, it's the proper thing to do. So whenever you come up to a dilemma in life, if you come up to a fork in the road, so to speak, and there's two paths to go by, an easy road and a hard road, think about this. Which do you want to take, and which should you take? When a little child does something wrong and they're confronted by their parents or any authority, and they say, did you do such and such? Did you do this bad thing? Our nature is to say no, because we're hoping that'll get us out of trouble and life will be easy. But if the child were to say, yes, I did it, I'm guilty, I'm wrong, they may face some consequences, they may suffer a little punishment, but they'll be more respected, and in the end, they'll be placed in a higher order. But that's not our nature, is it, as humans, to take the hard road, to do the right thing. And oftentimes, almost 99% of the time, the right thing is the hard thing. So just think about that when you're confronted with a dilemma in life. Do I take the easy route or the hard route? 99% of the time, the harder route is the correct one. So just food for thought, but really analyze your options whenever you're facing a decision to make in life. A moral decision. Think about the ultimate result of your decision. So, hope that's been thought-provoking at the very least for you. But I hope that as we face these tough times that we're all dealing with right now with the epidemic and the way our country is actually changing in front of our eyes. Most change occurs so slowly you don't notice it. But right now our country is changing at a rate and at a pace that is so obvious. We can see the change occurring. And although it's a sad thing to see, it's almost, you could say, awesome to see, because you're seeing something almost supernatural. You're seeing something beyond belief, but it's real and it's happening. And we've got front row seats to the show. But like the Bible tells us, we've already won the war. So no matter how bad things get, no matter how daunting things seem to be, ultimately we are victorious. So keep the faith. Don't lose sight of the finish line. You may be running a longer route, a longer race, a harder race. But at the end of that race, you'll be victorious. If you try to cheat and skirt around things and cut corners and take shortcuts, you may get to a finish line, but it may not be the finish line. So just something to think about. So keep the faith, stay positive. Don't let what's going on in the world today around us bring you down. Have joy in the Lord and know that He's got this. He is in control. It's not as bad as it may seem. The officials may want the public to think it's end times. And it may be. But if you cave into that fear that they're trying to build up in you, you will not be able to proceed as effectively other than if you had confidence knowing that you are already victorious. And if you have that mindset, you will succeed and you will get further along in life. So, thanks for watching today. I hope it's been thought-provoking, and share it with others. And think about that whenever you're confronted with a situation where you must make a decision. Do you choose the easy route or the hard route? What's best for you in the long run? So, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.